Okay, I'll just wait for some more people to come in, but hopefully you can hear me well. Hello, hello, everybody. Oh, there's a lot to get into today. There's a lot to get into today. Um, so very serious stuff has been made very very public, and it needs to it needs to be spoken about. I don't think enough people know about this. Even though this was on a lot of social media platforms, especially Twitter, but we shall get into it very very soon in the next a minute or so. Okay, I'm also going live on my Instagram. So if you are not able to access the link for some reason on YouTube, you can head to my Instagram as well. Um, but yeah, today let me just start sharing my screen as well. There's some very very dark news. Football as a whole, especially the French football federation and association, has been rocked by a French journalist named Romain Molina. Um, he is a very, very well known, very, very credible journalist who's been working in the field for years, who's worked with various different publications, New York Times, The Guardian. He even led the investigations conducted by The Guardian into sexual assaults on minors, especially football players, regarding football players. Hello, everybody on Instagram. Make sure to head to the link in my story to join the live on YouTube. There's some big news in football in the footballing world right now. Some very dark secrets that have been revealed by a very, very credible journalist, investigative journalist named Romain uh, Molina. Debu yesterday on Twitter, on a Twitter space, joined by very, very high profile people, including The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I don't know why he was there, but he was there. A lot of huge politicians, high profile players, even certain clubs. Let me share my screen and show you the Twitter space that was available to see. One second. Can you hear me on Instagram? I'm not sure if you can hear me. Okay, let me just share my screen. Okay, so um, yeah, so you can see Dwayne the Rock Johnson, Ibrahim Konate. Konate is a Liverpool defender. Yannick, I forgot his surname, but he's a rugby football owner, club owner. Olympic Marseille, the actual club, was on the space. You have Jeremy Doku, Dimitri Payet. So some very, very well-known people were watching the space and were listening in. Fabrizio Romano, who is considered, the stamp of approval in the footballing world, he was there as well, listening in and giving his approval to the statements and the claims that Molina has made. And some of them are very, very dark, and some of them are really, really almost shattered the glass ceiling in the footballing world. And to be very honest, from my point of view, I surprised that it has taken this long to come out. We've been hearing bits and pieces all over the internet for a while now, for almost years now, with regarding PSG and French football. And not just French football, we've heard it in Russia, we've heard it in England here and there. But yeah, let's look at some of the statements that were made by him. So um, here's the main thread. Here's the mega thread rather. The following is a non-exhaustive list of some of the claims made by investigative journalist Romain Molina in the Guardian and the Twitter space, and these are not to be taken lightly. As yeah, it definitely isn't. So Il Wahi Montpellier striker. So he's Montpellier is a club in France, and he was not fired from SM Khan's youth setup for physically assaulting a supervisor at the academy. Instead, after physical threats, he brought over some secondary school friends in the washroom to undress and in front of them, of in front of him. Sorry. So yeah, that's shocking. It only gets worse from here on. 400 plus players currently playing in the Premier League Championship, League One, and League Two have been raped multiple times in their youth. Some of them have contracted anal injuries and or diseases and have gone to specialized clinics as a result. This is a 2 decade old issue. The first story will come out in December. Um, he has mentioned that a lot of if this is only 10% of all the claims or the stories that he's found out, and a lot more will be coming in come March, come Feb, in the new year. And he claims that there's going to be a before and after in football after he drops that news, which I completely agree with. This is already earth shattering stuff. Megan Rapinoe, if you do not know, Megan Rapinoe um is a women's soccer player from the USA, and is one of the very prominent voices for the LGBTQ community. Apparently, Megan Rapinoe was not bothered by Haitian girls getting raped. She prefers earning money over defending these young girls. Now, whether this is actually credible, whether this is actually true or not, is yet to be found out. But you just don't want your name to be mixed in this stuff. Just her name being there is just not a good thing. A league-owned team covered up a pedophilia scandal in the youth academy by brainwashing the player. By the time law enforcement was involved, then they sent that player back to his country because he was a foreigner. And one of the largest academies in DR Congo is currently managed by a pedophilia ring. So anyway, you could visit this space. It's on YouTube. It's a 1.5 hour long space, and it's in French. So unless you sharpen your French skills, I think I will just continue on with some of the claims that he's made. Um, let's look at the list. This is the list of some of the things he's mentioned. Didier Deschamps, is, for those of you who do not know, he is the French international coach. Apparently, he has injured a player on purpose. A player pranking another one by introducing him to a minor and having him sleep with her. Lots of sexual abuse, rape cases in football. And Benjamin Mendy, who has done unimaginable stuff. Man City are more reluctant to sign French players now, will now investigate into their private life beforehand. Benjamin Mendy is a name that has propped up for a while now, and I think it's no surprise or no secret rather that he is in prison right now, facing a lot of rape charges. I think it's right now at 4, but according to Molina, there are 2 more that have been uncovered, which is just absolutely madness. Um, Furlan Mendy is another player. Let me just pull up Furlan Mendy's stuff, because that stuff was a bit crazy. Oh, Eves. I forgot to talk about Bart. Okay, so Eves John Bart. This is another one that's really really crazy. Eves John Bart was the president of the Haitian Football Federation and has been accused of sexually abusing young female footballers at the country's national training center, which is insane. And he was very well uh acquainted with everybody in the federation, and he was loved by everybody at FIFA as well. But um The Guardian has alleged, saying there is a lady who works there who puts pressure on the girls to have sex with the dude who is Jean Bart, and he will see a nice girl who's attractive and sends the lady to tell her that she's going to be thrown out of the center, and is basically, manipulated to do these things. Uh, just the sheer number of cases. There are about 34 to 40 cases against this man, and since then he's uh, been arrested and been denounced. This came out a while ago, and even Molina was surprised that it took this long for people to for it to gain traction. Actually, um, yeah, but yeah, some other news about Furlan Mendy. So yeah, Furlan Mendy was there's a lot of news about Furlan Mendy. There was some news a few months ago about him being involved with some rape cases and some sexual assault cases, and it has been revealed on Twitter by Molina that not only is Furlan Mendy involved with sexual assault cases, but he is also involved with alcohol problems. He was taken in for drunk driving at La Havre before the sexual assault case in Lyon, and this happened in 2018. He hit a woman. He stomped on her head while she was on the ground and showed her his genitals. Two international media were aware of this but did not release the matter because he was then at Real Madrid. Uh, this is crazy stuff. This is very, very crazy stuff coming from Molina. Obviously, this all needs to be, you know, it's all needs to be looked into. This is the voice of one man, although a very, very credible person, a very, very well known journalist, and very appreciated in the journalism world, especially in the footballing journalism world. Um, uh, Afro says some really mind blowing allegations. Yeah, it's this stuff is crazy. Leonardo from PSG, who is obviously the football manager at PSG, he's has been attacked by Molina as well, which is why I am worried for Molina's safety. Um, he laughs at the Pjanic and Arthur affair, the transfer, and talks about that being almost illegal. He swept, and then he also talks about, which is something that, like, I think this is very well known. 80% of players at PSG smoke shisha. At one point of time, the guys even took them for travel. I mean, that means for away games. They were taking shisha with them. Matuidi, Blaise Matuidi was a French international player. Blaise Matuidi regularly smoked shisha, and it was more successful for him than Benjamin Pavard. Benjamin Pavard is right now still playing, and he is part of Bayern Munich's squad. Apparently, he the Bayern Munich staff are now noticing that he is not making these intense runs, or the rate of these intense runs are slowing down quite a bit, which is a huge thing, which is a huge thing for a top level football player. PSG is burnout after burnout. It's an internal stampede. All the guys around Nasser are getting rid of, and Leonardo, he's hated. The most shocking is Leonardo, who slams everything on Icardi when the coach do not want him. Ask Maldini and Ancelotti what they think of Leonardo. Um, Very, very, very crazy stuff. So this came out a few days ago on Twitter. For those of you who are just tuning in, and completely rocked the football world, man. I don't know how I'm gonna watch football after this, but let's be honest. Let's be honest. This stuff has been going on for years and years and years. I mean, the fact that it's only coming out now is a surprise. And this is not just football. This happens in every single sport, in every single field, in every single walk of life, and it needs to be called out when it happens. It definitely needs to be called out, and the people who are involved need to be held accountable. And I think we all need to do our part and calling them out. And this is it starts with awareness, and that's why I felt that I needed to make this video, make this live, and talk about these things, because these claims are not these claims are not like claims, man. These are huge, huge claims, sexual assault, drug smuggling. Um, it's intense. This is very, very intense, and there's more to come. This is only 10%. This is only 10% apparently of the claims and the stories that Molina has uncovered while working for the Guardian and working for these huge publications. So there's much more to come. The beautiful game of football that we once knew and loved is suffering cracks. The next hammer blow is coming in March and will fully shatter the ceiling that we all are standing on. Till then, this has been it. This is all the news that I have. This is all the sources that I have, and this is David from the Chelsea Goalpost podcast. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and this has been madness. See you boys very soon.